I would like to tell you how to make incredible things at home, but in a very easy way. I believe every one of you happened to see a disassembled device, like your TV broke and you suddenly felt like, oh, maybe I could repair it, or you called for a technician to come and open it and repair it for you. You obviously have seen something like this. It's such a green thing. This is called printed circuit board. Its purpose is to keep all the electrical elements in place and provide electrical connections to them. These things, they look pretty complicated and pretty advanced, do they?
Yeah.
But I would like to tell you that it's not so difficult to make them, and each one of you would be able to make those things at home. All you need, it's just a couple cheap things. All of these things like copper laminate, electronic parts, and etching substrate, sodium persulfate, and the slippery paper, you would be able to get for just a couple zlotys. That's not a problem. You would need also some tools, but most of them you have at home. A laser printer, an iron which you use to make your cloths look tidy and smooth, and soldering iron. Most of you have it, otherwise you can buy it for 20 zloty. After that, you gotta get a drill, a pot, preferably the one that you're not going to use anymore because you're gonna spoil it with some chemicals, and a sponge. That's all you need. Most of these things you have at home. What you have to start with is an idea. Looks pretty complicated, right? But thing is, you don't have to be, you don't have to have a philosophy degree in electronics to produce anything like this. You can start with some simple ideas. Actually, you don't have to make a design on your own. The internet is full with many example projects which are based on just a couple elements which you can create at your own. Most of them will even have this spider's web. This is the layout of copper wires on a printed circuit board. They provide electrical connections. So all the heavy thinking will be done for you. All you will have to do is just copy it. Actually, print it on a paper. Then use an iron to transfer the toner from the slippery paper onto the copper laminate. A copper laminate is, as you can see here, a thin board covered with copper. After that, you will have a mask made of toner from your laser printer. Then you put this into the solution of this chemical I mentioned before in water, and you will have to warm it up a little. The copper, which is uncovered with toner, will disappear after a couple of minutes. The part of copper which is covered with toner will remain, as you can see here. After that, you'll get something like this. All you need to do is to clean the remaining toner, and you will have a beautiful printed circuit board which you made on your own. Then the fun begins. You have to solder these things. The studs. Okay, they are quite heavy, but after a couple of minutes, you get to know how to operate a soldering iron. You get to see how does a tin behave and how to make a proper connection. This is nothing difficult at all. After that, once the soldering is done, you'll be able to play with the thing that you have just created. What can this be? Such projects vary from things like blinking with an LED diode, which is always the best way to improve your family, because they would have no idea whatsoever what's behind these electronics that you made. But if it's blinking, then it's impressive. But some people start, like for example I did, with some guitar effects. The first thing I made was a compressor, which is making the sound of your guitar last for longer, or preferably as long as possible. Those things are pretty simple. Usually consist of just a couple elements, nothing at all. After 1 or 2 evenings of fun, you'll be able to enjoy the tool that you have just made.
You started with the opening, saying that everyone remembered or everyone tried to disassemble something and see how it looks like. Then you moved to the body of this speech when you showed us step by step in chronological order how to make something. And you finished with a simple saying that what you actually prepared. So there was this structure I was telling about at the beginning. What I liked about your presentation is that you used very good visual aids. The presentation was flashing, and there was some slides that were moving, and some like arrows and stuff, and that was good because we could visualize. Probably if you were talking about assembling something or disassembling or soldering, some of us would have no idea what you're talking about. But when we saw it, we were like, okay, so this is soldering, or this is it. So that was very helpful. What I told you already, probably before, is that, in my opinion, you have very interesting voice, and it's very nice and easy to listen to you, and it's a big pleasure to listen to you. Then, when changing, what I maybe not didn't like, but what you could improve, is that, for example, when you were changing the slides, there was this beamer, and each time when you were changing, we could see on the stage like all your art, which was kind of annoying. So maybe it was better to ask Marek to change it, or I don't know, maybe stand somewhere else, just to try to arrange it before when you try to use some visual aids, if changing is not disturbing the audience. Then, I think that the beginning, maybe not beginning, but I think the closing could be much stronger. Like the main idea of this project was to have like a strong opening and a strong closing, so we could see when exactly, we could see the structure. Like there was a structure, as I said, but it could be much better divided. Because I was thinking at some point of time, is it already the body of the speech or is it still the beginning? The same at the end. I wasn't sure when you actually moved to the closing. And the thing that you could make the biggest impression, let's say, is that at closing you said about what you actually made by yourself. So you could show the picture of it or something, so we could actually see it. Or you could, I don't know, encourage us to do something by ourselves at home. Or ask us a question like, what is it that you would like to make? For example, you prepared something for your bass guitar, so you could ask us what we would like to prepare, so we could think of it, and then we would sit and we would have like the idea in our minds after your speech. What I like the most is your sense of humor. You said the fun begins, or for example, when it's blinking then it's impressive, which is true. So I think this is something you should be building on your next speech, like sense of humor, improvisation, and presentation skills, because I think you feel easy at stage and it's very nice watching you and listening to you.